seriously, don't move.
Right.
Okay, everybody.
Keep the bus over 55 miles an hour, okay?
Welcome once again to another smooth beginning to the Colonial podcast, episode 15. My name is Ewan, and you can find me on Twitter at the Colonial Pod. Today, I'm joined again by the usual guests, the Pride of South Jersey, Pine Barren CSC, Yahmpy. What's your Twitter handle? Let the people know. Quick, let's get through this intro.
Yahmpy, YAHMPY at fucking Twitter. Just don't try to get us on Skype at more than 2 at a time, or else we're all fucked.
Today, I can promise you 2 things: it's a swear-free podcast, and no one is drinking. That's my two promises for this book. Today, I'm also joined by another delightful regular that we have here at the Colonial podcast. It's the young, dashing John Paul, aka JP, and give us your Twitter handle, JP.
Twitter handle is Jeep1888.
Lovely. Okay. So we're recording, no one's dropped out, and let's just go ahead and talk about the St Johnstone game, because we could talk about Hearts, we could talk about Aberdeen, but I'd love to talk about St Johnstone, who we just played. I've just watched the game. I know you two have just watched the game. Quite an exciting game, I thought. First half, I thought we were pretty pish, to be honest, but second half was full of incidents. Let's go to JP first. I know my biggest talking points to the game were, but what did you make of the game, JP?
Yeah, pretty much the same as yourself. Plenty of incidents. Didn't play particularly well in the first half, but better in the second. Biggest talking point for me was, how the fuck did Paul Patton stay on the pitch again? Absolutely fucking nailed the guy midway through the second half, and didn't get shown a red card. So that's probably one of the biggest talking points for me, followed by that Stonewall penalty that we got a few seconds later, that brought us back level. And then
so last episode, we spent the whole episode moaning about the Scottish media, and I think the episode before that I spent most of the episode moaning about Scottish media, and the episode before that we were moaning about referees. Craig Thomson seems to be just like, I don't know, are they all having a competition who can be the worst referee? Yahmpy, I mean, how bad is that guy? It just it's like
Jesus. He would do better if he had Stevie Wonder's fucking glasses and cane to go play with too, because he's fucking brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal. You wonder why Turkish fans wanted to fucking run the guy out of the country a couple months ago. This guy is the fucking worst. It's bad enough he's a Hun to begin with, and you see that picture of him, that famous one of him with his thumbs down outside Celtic Park and everything. Then the cunt's going to sit there today. Clear opportunity to give a red card to Paul Patton. Now, I don't know if Patton is an exception where he gets 2 red cards, one for his chin and one for the rest of him, but he didn't get fuck all. He got a yellow card, and it was like, after that, everybody's going apeshit crazy, freaking out, because he should have got rightfully a red card on a fucking shit tackle straight up from behind.
Yeah.
So not even 30 seconds later, you get a fucking something that looks like a handball in the box. People going crazy again. All of a sudden, he's all fucking shook up, running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And we got a penalty. And he screwed the pooch with it, because he was all freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, man? Craig Thomson, I'm not going to stand up for that dude a little bit. He deserves all the pelters he gets, because he's just a Hun with a whistle anyway. So fuck him. We won. It wasn't the turning point of the game. The turning point was Dembele coming in, but whatever.
Yeah.
Still unbeaten, still rolling on, brother.
When I looked at the lineup, the first thing I saw was Gary Mackay-Steven was on, Forrest wasn't in. Now, I wasn't bothered by that, because I think Forrest has been pretty poor anyway, so I was like, okay, let's give GMS a chance. Boyata alongside Sviatchenko, which is fine, because Yozo's got to get a rest. You can't, we're playing midweek games, we're playing games. So that's fine. Give Yozo a rest, and then Lustig on the right. No big deal. Henderson in for, and it's good. You want to see Callum McGregor and Henderson getting rotated. And as I said, the first half, I thought our midfield were pretty bad. Henderson was pushing up quite high, giving a lot of balls away. The defence was giving a lot of balls away. Henderson took his goal really well, but you could see just the way we were defending in the first half, we were asking for goals, and I thought they are going to score. It kind of reminded me of the Motherwell game in a way. I don't know if you obviously everybody remembers the Motherwell game, but it was just that level of performance, and it looked like it was going to be that type of game, and it nearly turned out like the Motherwell game. A lot of goals, high scoring, had to turn that around. Henderson's goal took very well, and he could have got another one, but Gary Mackay-Steven, how many chances did he miss? I mean, he had like two, at least two, two or three. Yeah.
Man, but you're going to have those opportunities, man. I mean, it's just like these things happen. You're not going to play perfect football all season. It just don't work out that way. Yep. And in bits and pieces, you're going to have, you got to get guys in to get other guys rested. And if them and Mackay-Steven needed to run out, well, he's supposed to be a professional, and he did not play a very good game. And that's to be, I can understand that. He hasn't seen much time. The goal
is it because
didn't help things. Go ahead.
I was going to say, is it because he hasn't seen enough game time, or is it just because he's pish?
Probably a combination of both. I mean, but again, it's not everybody's going to be player of the year form. Brendan Rodgers is going to get the best out of his guys, but again, sometimes it is what it is, man. And GMS he's a serviceable guy. He's a guy right now. That's his role. He gives somebody a breath. Yeah. And he's supposed to go out there and hold up his end of the bargain. And he played like a guy who just is a serviceable guy. I don't hate the guy for it. It just is what it is. He didn't make the most of his opportunities where somebody else might have.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to let John. I've got to run and I've run out of cider here, so I'm going to run and get it. But while I do that, JP, you can talk about the first goal. How badly defended was that corner to let the first goal in? I know, like from what I saw, all you could see was Nurbaton. His attempt to mark his man was was fucking really bad. So you can talk about that goal. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I just think for a big guy, Nurbaton doesn't do enough at set pieces, eh? He just got completely out jumped. Didn't even make an attempt to really get the ball. But yeah, that's just kind of par for the course of Beaton. You know what to expect. I think his game's improved over the last few weeks, but yeah, just still prone to those kind of lapses in concentration and doesn't really like the physical side too much.
I've no idea what you said, but I agree.
Fucking goal. You missed phenomenal insight. Just said that Beaton's pish. He's got better, but he's still pish. Yeah.
It's funny now. We look at these the other like. So Boyata comes back, right, and scores an own goal he comes back for his third game, scores an own goal. Didn't have a particularly amazing game. If he hadn't scored 2 goals in the previous 2 games, right, if he just played through those games and he hadn't scored, I mean, he scored 2 excellent goals in the past 2 games, but if he hadn't scored 2 goals in those 2 games and scored that own goal, everybody would probably be like, he's still pretty pish, why is, so I'm not saying he played badly in the other 2 games, but it wasn't like he was amazing in the other 2 games. I still think Yozo and Sviatchenko are better defenders than him. So that's another player who's come in and everybody's like, okay, has Brendan turned him around yet? And so everyone's looking. I'm still looking at Bitton. We're still looking at GMS. He's done it with Armstrong. We know that. Obviously he's done it with Brown. Forrest is sliding off the boil. So it's interesting looking at it to see who's coming to the fore. Now you look at the second half. Dembele, it's just like man of the moment. I mean, just what do we say about Dembele? I mean, it's like.
Yep. Remember I said he was like a £10 million player, the Lowell thing? Yeah, he's probably worth a little more than that.
Right, now, I'm glad you brought that up. I've got actually, I totally forgotten. I'm going to pull both of you up on this because, what did you say Lowell would sell him for again? 15, was it?
I said Lowell would but again, it's under the guise that Lowell was the man calling the shots. Look, dude, if Lowell would have fucking got a bottle of champagne that was half decent, he probably would have dumped them for that. But it's evident you haven't really heard much about Lowell this year.
Yeah.
So that $10 million was based upon that he was still the Mac. He's not the Mac anymore, man. 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, it's not getting done. Dembele's going to be here. And I'm down with that. I love that. But at the time, we talked about fair valuation at the time. I mean, he's fucking lit it up like a Christmas tree, dude. I mean, since then, how many big fucking games has he had, man? He's just been running riot, and yeah, he's not a 10 million pound guy anymore. He's definitely, when he went into the transfer window, 30-40 million for a guy. All he does is score goals, man.
Look, I mean, he scored in the Old Firm. You bring him in, and he scores. He basically
scored all fucking year.
He turns the whole game around. But really, in essence, what you're trying to say is that I was right.
I'm not
saying evidence available. Because
both of you, I just wanted. All I'm trying to do is just remind myself.
Is that what this
about the conversation we had back then? And I said he's going to be worth at least 20 to 25, and he's not going to get sold for anything less. So it's just, do you know what it is? It's vision and insight and knowledge of the game, and when you have that,
oh my god, here we go.
Then you can make.
I don't want to nitpick, Nick, but I don't remember you saying he'd be worth at least 20 to 25 million. I thought you said he'd be worth 20 to 25 million. So if you want to be really, a dick about it, then you were wrong as well, because he's going for fucking 35 to 40.
I'm just being honest. I just expect you to do the same and just be honest and say you're right. He's not getting sold for anything less than a king's ransom. I mean, the rumours are right that we knocked back a bid of 30, and then some idiot in the Scotsman was like, according to stories coming out of France, Celtic have knocked back a bid for Moussa Dembele of 35 million, and like that story was just it was like a link on a dodgy French website, and that's what the Scotsman used to write one of their main headlines. This guy was like, according to reports in France, and it was like some dodgy French website that was like, yes, Celtic have knocked back. It's like, is it really? So basically your research is the same as mine, is clicking on a link on a dodgy French website. I could write for the Scotsman. I'll do it. I'll take the job. I'll do it, because honestly, it was pathetic, some of the stuff that came out in the transfer window. But anyway, to finish this St Johnstone game, I thought I want to hear from JP what he thought about St Johnstone's tactics compared to Aberdeen and Hearts.
I think St Johnstone did as well as anyone's done against us in the first half. It was that kind of controlled aggression. They didn't they didn't come on to us too much, but when they had the chances, they were getting pretty close to them. They obviously scored one of them, and they just didn't give us time to settle. I mean, I know we had a couple of chances, but I think St Johnstone had a pretty good first half. Couldn't keep it going in the second half, but again, that's just the way that all the other SPFL teams have been this season. They tend to tire out with about 20 minutes left.
I was going to talk about the fitness, because fitness seems to be, like with the way that we move the ball, and I noticed it particularly in this game anyway, like we move the ball so fast that teams have to be. St Johnstone are a pretty fit team. Like, they kept up with us quite well at Celtic Park, but you could see in this game after a while it was just like Paul Payton, guys like him know that they're going to get away with it. And if you look at the Aberdeen game, Aberdeen didn't come out to play football, and we'll go to Yahmpy on this, like on the tactics of the Aberdeen game. I tweeted out after it, Aberdeen get nothing for playing that way. They like just dirty tactics, and that for me, it's like, as the fitness goes and they can't keep up with us, all they do is start booting us off the park. Ended up being 5-2 in this game. Totally dominant towards the end. Standout performance from Dembele for me, and I think Scott Brown had a pretty good game. Lustig, what about Lustig's cross? Cheeky cross. Did you see it? The wee Rabona? Was it a Rabona? Or a wee back? Oh man!
I was like, what did I just see that,
man?
Man?
I tell you, man. He's just the Lustig is just.
Then there was a back heel too.
It was good. It was a good game. I really enjoyed the St Johnstone game. I like to see that. Some dodgy tackles, dirty referee who can't stop us from winning, great goals, Moussa Dembele getting a hat-trick, just a brilliant, exciting game, and two fingers up to anybody who says it's boring being a Celtic fan. I'm sorry, man. Forget it. I could watch that game again and have a brilliant time watching it. You know, it's just like I don't get these guys. But yeah, we'll go.
Fair play to St. Johnston for coming out and playing. I mean, they played hard, man. It's a physical game. We could deal with that. That's fine. But they're not going to sit back like a bunch of bitches like Aberdeen did. That seems to be Aberdeen's MO. Let's all fucking turtle, park the bus, and then we'll see if we can counterattack for a goal and squeeze it out 1-0. Yeah. Boring, hard, fucking. It's just terrible to watch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I said before. I mean, if I was one of these guys, I'd be like, let's go and try and play instead of sitting about like a bunch of fannies and getting, you know, just being dirty and stuff. Like Aberdeen are just. Derek McInnes is a terrible football manager when it comes to playing us. He seems to do okay against other teams. I mean. Obviously,
watch, and he'll end up replacing Magic Hat. You watch.
Well, will be I saw someone. Did you see someone? Somebody on Twitter tweeted out, "I hope we get Barry Ferguson and Neil McCann."
That would be wonderful.
Oh man, I was like, that's possibly tweet of the year.
Would they be joint managers or?
I don't know.
You know,
I hope it happens though. Oh god.
McCann, the number, Ferguson, the number. God knows.
I hope they get McInnes. He'll set that team back 5 years, man. They already don't do fuck all when they play, man. And they get someone like him who's going to park the bus every game and try to fucking squeeze out anti-football wins. Perfect. We'll get to 10 in a row in a cancer.
Somebody else tweeted out this guy, another. Fucking Sevco tweet. This guy's tweeting, I'm telling you, Matt Warburton's the best manager in my lifetime. I'm 32 years old. And then the next tweet from him was, Warburton out. There's been so many good tweets from some of these idiots recently. But Aberdeen, you know, like, how do you sum up the Aberdeen game as we go through the games? And we'll get to, I guess we'll talk about the Hearts game as well. But the Aberdeen game was just like, they didn't play football. All they did was come out and just kind of lump the ball about, persistently foul us, and the referee is just like, you know, as a Celtic player, you must be going into a game now going, right guys, you know what's going to happen, we're going to get the shit kicked out of us for about 75 minutes before the ref does anything. Is it just me, or is it getting worse?
It's hard to judge, because back in the early mid-90s it was bad and it meant a lot more as well. You know, each one of those bad decisions was costing us points and we had to win. You know, you look at the 95-96 season, the amount of bad decisions we got then, only lost one game and still didn't win the league. Whereas now, yeah, it's bad, it's ridiculous, but you can kind of laugh it off a little bit. So yeah, I don't know whether it's got worse now. It wouldn't make sense that it's got worse now, because the refs know there's a lot less at stake, and that it doesn't matter how many shit decisions they give in Sevco's favour and against us, they're not winning that league.
Yeah, I mean, because back then it was, you know, if you look at the Celtic side now, like, we're winning games, we're dominating games, and you're not that worried. But as you say, back then it was a lot harder to win games, and it was a much bigger problem for the club. Whereas now it's like, well, do what you want, you know, as long as you're not sending people off. And we've not actually had a lot of players sent off, mainly because we're not playing dirty football. We go on the park and we play football. But Aberdeen.
Looking at the stats of that game, man, you realize that Aberdeen didn't have a single corner the entire game.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Like, they had 41% possession and no corners. Like, I mean,
but that McInnes, every time McInnes plays us, I don't know what his team talks about. He's like, I mean, what does he say to them? Just, I don't. They're terrible every time they play us. Every time. It's quite funny.
I mean, if he wants to, if Sevco wants to hire him to run out those kind of like results, God bless him, man. Pay him a big contract. Go ahead.
He will not get the Rangers job. He will not get the Rangers job. No, he's not going to get the Rangers job. It's definitely going to go Barry Ferguson and Neil McCann, I think.
No, they can't do that.
Oh, I wish. You can only dream.
McCann's contract off Sky.
But yeah,
he'll cost $2 million.
Yeah, you're probably right. So that's okay. So Hearts. So the Hearts game again. At least Hearts tried to play a bit. Ended up being not a bad game. I quite enjoyed the Hearts game as well. Ian Cathro has been under it, and obviously they've won recently against Sevco, which was tremendous. I'd actually rather talk about the 4-1 game than the game we played, because that was like who was it that brought the ball out of the Rangers defence and get skinned? It was Kiernan, was it?
I don't even know. I just, when I went on Twitter, I was like, I saw everybody like big fucking laughing faces all over Twitter, and I said, I guess Sevco's losing, and they're like 4-1. I was like, stop fucking pulling my chain, man. They're like, no, really, 4-1.
Thing is, after watching the Celtic Hearts game that weekend, you just thought Hearts were going to get their arses handed to them, but yeah, to not just beat them, but to beat them so convincingly, that was sweet, yeah.
Because the only guy that's been scoring for them is that Heineman. He's a young US.
Oh, yeah.
You
American
know?
boy.
Yeah. Heineman.
Honestly, I was talking with the other guys on Twitter about this before. I have like a bunch of MLS and U.S. national team guy friends, and I'm not a big U.S. national team guy, although I do like the Union because they're my local. And I said, you ever heard of this Hyman guy before? Because I feel kind of stupid. I haven't fucking heard of this guy. And they're like, and these are guys who really like American outlaws. And they're like, I don't even know who the fuck this dude is, man. And I was like, I know, I've never heard of him. But it seems like he's doing okay for them, which probably is a testament to how fucking bad they are. It's not as much how good he is.
Yeah, he scored their only goal in that 4-1 game, and he seems to be a half decent player. He can score anyway, and he seems to get into good positions and stuff, and he seems to have a good technique. But Jamie Walker scored 2 in that game. Novak, they were 63 minutes, and they had 4 goals in against him. So, and they've drawn against Ross County as well. So I think Warburton's. If he loses any more games, I don't think he will last the season. They're going to implode. They're going to explode. Especially if Aberdeen leapfrog them, which you can see happening, because Aberdeen are playing well against everybody else except us. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at the next Aberdeen Rangers game. But I guess we'll see. But it's great. Everything's great right now. It couldn't get any better, really. Could it? The only thing that could have gotten better would be to get maybe a couple of signings in the transfer window. And I want to talk to you guys about the transfer window and how you feel about it, because my personal feelings were like, I saw someone saying, look, you just want to get through this transfer window without losing anybody, and at first I was like, yeah, I agree, I don't want to lose anybody. But I thought, wait a minute, we're not actually going to lose anybody. All these stories about Craig Gordon leaving and Dembele leaving, it was just the usual Scottish media trying to throw stones at us and kind of rattle us. We were never going to lose Craig Gordon. Brendan Rodgers would be crazy to let him go halfway through the season, right? We don't have another quality keeper to his standard there anyway, regardless of what people think he's worth, whatever. And then obviously we had Dembele, all the rumours of him going. So when we get to the end of the season, a few people were, at the end of the transfer window, a few people were saying, oh great, we didn't lose anybody. And I was like, well, yeah, okay, that's great. I'm glad. I don't want the team to we want to keep our best players, but at the same time, I still think it would have been good to have had at least 1 or 2 more players in. So I wouldn't say it was a bad transfer window, but is it bad to sit here and say that you're disappointed with it? Is that a criticism of the boards? It's not a criticism of Brendan Rodgers, because he's obviously trying to get the players that he wants, but for me, I wanted to see a little bit more in terms of players in. I don't know how you guys feel about the transfer window.
Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, probably the same as yourself. Looking back on it now, we probably wanted to bring in at least 1 more player, probably an attacking right-sided midfielder, because we know that chances are that Paddy's not going to be around. And if you're looking at getting into the Euro qualifiers with just James Forrest there, or Mackay Stevens backing him up, then it's not really a good situation.
No. So
maybe wanted to bring in 1 more player, but the main thing was that we didn't sell the likes of Craig Gordon, Dembele. For me, I think there was definitely a bid in there for Gordon. Just going by what Brendan was saying in his press conferences. But yeah, it was good not to lose anyone. I think in previous windows, if a bloody £4 million bid had come in,
do you think he would have sold him? I mean, like, okay, everyone's got a price. So if it was like 10 million, everybody would have gone, right, okay, that's way over what he's worth. But like, with no one coming in, it's not as if we've got Logan Baye. How do you say it? Logan Baye. And Doris de Vries, and then the young guy Fassan who's gone out on loan. So, and yeah, I just don't know. I just don't think Brendan Rodgers would sell Craig Gordon halfway through the season.
Unless he wouldn't. If that was a different manager, though, if that had been Ronnie Dyler, it wouldn't have been his choice. It would have been a case of, right, well, you just signed the keeper a few months ago. We've got a bid of bloody £4 or £5 million in for a guy that's going to be worth nothing in a year and a half. He's gone. But because it's Brent, he's got a lot more power in what happens.
Well, that goes back to what Yahmpy was saying. Who's wearing the trousers now? You know what I mean?
It's a big difference, isn't it, man? And I mean, we know it. We've been following this club for how long now? And it's like, if Lolo was calling the shots, guys would have been gone. And would they have been adequately replaced? Probably not. It would have if Ronnie was still here. You bet your ass Gordon would have been gone, and he'd be like, well, we got your keeper, go ahead, do something with Doris out there.
Yeah,
now we're talking about, like, we're having transfer windows now where we can say, yeah, it would have always been nice to get in more, but what are we looking for? We want guys like Roberts to stay. We want talent in the team to be here. And you see, like, Dembele had a tweet after the match today where he said, happy birthday to my bro Patrick Roberts, so many memories together, hope we'll have more. My hat trick is your birthday present. Enjoy. And it's like Dembele kind of putting the heat on the club a little bit to say, you know what? Spend a little fucking money and make that loan deal a little more permanent.
How much do you think it would take to sign Patrick Roberts, Yahmpy?
Well, I don't know, man. You're the expert. Remember, you hammered me on the 10 million. Well, I just throw 10 million out there again so you can break my balls.
Maybe you're right, because what I heard. I mean, it must have been about 2 or 3 months ago, there was a rumour going about that Patrick Roberts' evaluation wasn't as high as people were saying. It's probably rubbish. It'll be internet rubbish, but I do remember someone saying, look, he's not actually worth as much, blah, 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 because of this evaluation, or the fact that when he goes back to City, he's not going to be, first priority, because they've got so much money, and they've got such a talented squad. He's probably second or third string in their team, and he'll get loaned out to, a mid-table side or go abroad or something like that. So, I mean,
but it's not that. I mean, you got to look at it like this: they're on a loan deal with this guy. Celtic has to not only convince Man City that they want to make a deal, because they have the majority of the chips on the table right now. It's their guy out on loan. Yeah. So, and from a position of Celtic, you not only have to convince Man City that they want to make a deal, which is tough because this kid's playing his ass off, but then you got to make a deal that's going to be enough money on the table to say, you know what? Yeah, we can move this guy and it's not going to hurt us, and we're going to get a nice little return for it.
Yeah.
So, if you want to say how much money, I would say 7.5.
I think you were right when you said. I actually think you were right when you said 10. I think between 7 and 10.
I'm trying to lowball a little because I don't want to get them bellied again. But
no. But the thing with Dembele, see, the thing with Dembele is, like, he was such a high pro. Like, Patrick Roberts has been with us for a while, but Dembele was like quite a high-profile signing in terms of the press he got about it and all that. And it's been, there's interest from big clubs. Like, Patrick Roberts has just been like, we know how good he is, and like City probably know how good he is, but it's not as if he's like high profile. Like, he's not generating a lot of media stories. As Dembele's like front page, back page all the time. Scottish media were going crazy about it, and it's just like, look.
Well, here's the thing: if we're serious here, and it's like, you're talking about Dermot Desmond, how he was offended the way Sevco acted after the cup and everything, and a whole 9 yards, and he kind of made it this little personal mission. 1 year does not make 10 in a row. You need a guy like Roberts here for a longer spell than that. So you can't just sit there and say, okay, I showed them because we had one great season. That's not gonna sit there and say, you know what, I was offended by these people and I showed them. You got to shove it in their fucking faces, and the way you do it is you see this kid, you keep him around. The players like him, they like what he brings to the table and the team chemistry. Dermot Desmond, if you took that shit personally, you better open the fucking pocketbook again, because if you're depending on law to do it, that shit ain't going to happen. Yeah. You got to take care of business yourself and go to Man City and give them a not just a fair, but maybe a little more than fair price, and get this kid here long term.
Yeah, because
then we're talking about 10 in a row definitely being full on.
Well, I mean, if you look at all the loan signings we've had, I mean, look at the players we've loaned John Paul in the past. Like, think of all the loan players. He's probably the one that everybody really wants to keep out of all the loan. I mean, we've had some loans that have just been terrible. Like, I think one of the worst ones was when you look at Mubarak and Tonev and those guys. It was just like fucking the worst loans ever. And Paddy's great because when he's on, he you know, you're guaranteed he's going to beat a man. He's putting the ball into a dangerous area, or he's scoring a goal. You know, Gary Mackay-Steven will beat a man and then fall over the ball, or run the ball into touch, or take a shot and miss, or just, you know, like he was throwing goals today. You know, the first thing he should have done was try and take it over the keeper, put it in the corner, and he's like, it's like, you know, guys like Paddy Roberts have got that instinct, the instinct to do the right thing. You know, it's like that instinctive finish or the instinctive. So, yeah, I don't want to dwell on him, but massive fan, and if there's any way to get him still, I don't know, maybe he'll come back. Maybe if he goes at the end of the season, we'll be able to bring him back. But I guess we'll see what happens. What did you think about? What did you jump on? What did you make of Boyata's own goal? It was a really good header.
It was a fantastic header. Look, shit happens in the box. I mean, good centre backs do score OGs from time to time, and you know, if there's going to be an OG, may as well be a peach of an OG. But the good thing is that he recovered after it. He didn't let it get him down. He maintained his concentration. Didn't really misplace any passes after that. Didn't misplace any passes in the whole game. But yeah, I think Boyata of last season.
FA moment there. FA moment for him. But we touch of the FA.
It was a little tribute to FA.
Yeah, FA, because FA did take him under his wing when he came into the club. So maybe he's just trying to get that out of his system. A wee bit of the FA in there leaking out. So,
come on, man! Like, if you see that replay, it's not totally his fault, dude. St. Johnson kind of ducked under. Dude, he kind of ducked under that ball a little bit, and his friggin' head was.
It was a great header. It was a peach of a header.
He's scoring goals everywhere, man.
It's exactly the same as the other two goals he scored last week. It was peach. I think that's his move. You know, everyone's got a finishing move. You know, he used to play. Any of you ever play Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter? You've got the finish move. That's his move. He just did it at the wrong point, and the game was like, right, fucking, you know, finish killer move. No, wrong end. Wrong end of the pitch. Did the other end of the pitch, mate.
Did you ever see the movie The Last Starfighter? I know I'm dating myself, but this goes back in like the 80s.
I have seen it. I can't remember it.
Dude, in the final scene, there's this fucking thing, and it has a mechanism called the Death Blossom, and it just starts fucking shooting shit everywhere. And that's kind of what he's doing with his headers. He'll occasionally put one in our net, but fucking hopefully he'll put more in theirs than ours. So just let him go.
He's got a beast of a header, man. He's got a beast of a header. But yeah, like you know, mistakes happen. But watch him. I'm watching him. I'm watching you. I'm going to watch him. So. I've got my eye on him. Apparently, now going on to songs, we know that Sinclair has an excellent song. We love Sinclair's song. It's, you know, brilliant. But Armstrong has a new song. Does anybody know what the new Armstrong song is?
Yeah. Has it actually been sung at Celtic Park yet? Or is it just a kind of meme that's going around?
I don't know. This came from Johnny Clifford, by the way, who's somewhere in the jungle in Africa. He's been sending us pictures of rhinos, and Johnny Clifford is actually supposed to be a member of this podcast, but he's in Africa taking pictures of elephants and stuff like that. That Armstrong song has come through from Johnny Clifford, and apparently it's the Rhythm is the Dancer song. Rhythm is the Dancer. So hopefully we'll hear it sung soon. I'm not going to sing it to you, so don't hold your breath, okay? Don't ask me, I'm not going to do it. But yes, apparently it's Rhythm is the Dancer, so I'll hopefully we hear it. Well, I tell you, there's another interesting thing that's been happening to me on Twitter. I've been talking to... Now, I don't talk to the Manky Mob on Twitter. I know Yahmpy likes to have a run-in with the current buns on Twitter, but I don't do it on my account. I stay away from them, but I've got another account.
I try not to, man. They fucking... Those fucking dudes, dear God.
Right, wait. Before we unleash Yahmpy on a Sevco rant, because that will take at least 10 minutes... I've got another cider. I've got a troll account I use sometimes, and if I see one of them being a total twat to anybody on my feed, I'll switch account. And this guy was posting pictures of Jimmy Savile in a Celtic tracksuit. Yeah, you know, the usual stuff. So I was like, I said to him, "Is this it? Is that all you've got, mate?" I was like, you know, how many points are you behind now? And he just kept talking about paedophiles, and I was like, yeah, it's like that's it. That's the best you've got, is it? That's it, and it's literally getting so bad for them now. They can't. This is their only comeback now. It's this whole, you know, pedo thing. It's just, I know I said that on the last podcast, but this guy was going on and on and on about it, and I was like, I said, you should get counselling for that. You need special help, mate. You're obsessed with this.
Can you imagine? That's the high point of that scumbag's fucking football experience. Are you fucking kidding me?
Seriously, mate.
I mean, that's what football is. Then it's about
mate. Pizzagate.
Point scoring with child abuse. So how fucking pathetic is that? Like, get a fucking life, man. And these are mostly like fucking grown-ups with like kids and shit. Like, are you for real, man? Like, like, that should be so far fucking out of bounds. It's not even funny, especially since this isn't exactly one-way traffic here, because they've had issues with their club with fucking child abuse too. Like, ridiculousness, man. Grow the fuck up. If you got a result, the points going because your club is so fucking bad, your owner is so fucking bad, and your team and your fans are so fucking bad, then get another fucking hobby, man. Go watch fucking whatever, man. Darts or pool or some other lazy ass bullshit. But football isn't your deal, man. Oh, they did win a European Cup. It wasn't the fucking big one. It was some hinky ass second place trophy, but that's cool. But I mean, don't put that picture up. Put fucking pictures up about banners about pedophilia, because that shows where their fucking mindset is, man. There's some sick motherfuckers on that support that club.
Yeah, they are. And it's like I said, you know, they've got this thing about it, and the whole of Ibrox was, nearly the whole stadium at Ibrox was chanting it when we played them there. But this guy tweeted to me, he said, well, I said, enjoy the gap, blah blah blah. You know, I wasn't like swearing at him or being bigoted or sectarian. I was just like, enjoy the gap, Sevco, whatever. And he tweeted back, he said, well, look on the bright side, at least we're pedo free. So I sent him the link of the Rangers coach accused of child abuse. He blew up. He literally blew up. He started tweeting me, sending me messages. I just ignored him, and he's still doing it now, because it's like, well, you know, there you go, there's one of your own, you know. We'll move on from that.
Even the main Sevco fan groups have kind of tried to distance themselves from that. You know, they've I think before the last Glasgow derby, they'd said they just want to hear songs about Rangers and not any of the pedo stuff in that. But it shows you how little power and sway these guys have, I guess, when the entire stadium, the only thing they can sing about is pedos.
Well, what was the one thing there was one tweet where it said that's the difference between Celtic fans and Huns, is that Celtic fans sing about things they love and Huns sing about things they hate.
Yeah.
And I mean, if that, you couldn't encapsulate better the divide between the two sets of fans.
You got it, mate.
I've never seen anything remotely as low ball as Sevco fans are in any other sport that I've ever followed. And I mean, it's like they are a breed apart, man.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was one of the guys on the Hail Media thread was saying our songbook just keeps growing and growing, and it does. You get the Armstrong chant, which you can't wait to hear them singing it. It's going to be that. You get the Sinclair song. We've got you get Grace. We've got the Green Brigade, we've got the standing section, we've got Celtic Park, which is looking better than ever. Did any of you see the Twitter video of the guy flying the drone around Celtic Park? It was like a drone. Someone had a drone and they filmed Celtic Park going around the stadium and stuff, and playing some feedback and some audio from games and stuff like that, and some music and chants. And it looks amazing now. I haven't been bad. Hopefully going back either this Christmas or next, but I can't wait to go back and see it. I mean, it's just like, and then you go there, and I was listening to, I think it was 90 Minutes Cynic, someone was at the Ibrox game and they were saying that stadium is a complete wreck. It's literally just in bits. Like, even the pictures you saw of the toilets, which we didn't destroy, they looked as if they'd been destroyed. I was like, is that their toilets? Look at the state of them, man. Like, it's just, oh man, it's night and day between us and them just now. It really is night and day. That's crazy.
The drone video is really cool for anybody that hasn't seen it, especially the part where you see, like, at one point, I mean, you get like the overlay of the audio from "You'll Never Walk Alone," and the drone feed was taken at night, and when you see the whole front facade with the star lit up, and then as the drone rises, and in the background you're hearing, "You'll Never Walk Alone." And you see the drone taking off and everything, I mean, from its camera view, and then you catch the star, and then you catch, the Celtic Football Club 1888 on the back banner over the stadium. I mean, it was a wonderful job. The dude with the drone did a wonderful job, man.
Yeah, man.
I was like, it's a must-see on there. It was really cool.
It must be quite a skill to fly one of them. I wouldn't be doing it. It'd be shaky cam. He'd steady hands up, boy. I don't think he was on in the pub the night before. I was like, what? It was totally like, that camera didn't move at all. I was like, fuck, mate, well done. Not obviously.
Police Scotland looking for you. Yeah. Who knocked the fucking star over?
Yeah, no, it was good. That was really good. I enjoyed that. I thought that was excellent. But yeah. Yeah, I think that it's now. So where are we at now? We won that game. I haven't checked the table. Someone give me some stats on the table. Let's see. I'll go back to it now. I was just looking at it there. I think we're how many points are we ahead now in the table? It's like something ridiculous.
So something like 25, I think it is.
Is it 25?
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. 27 now with Aberdeen having a game in hand.
This is
27. Yeah.
27. Yeah, 43. Sure? Yeah, Aberdeen are on 43. We're now on 70. They've got a game in hand.
Oh, that's right.
They've got a game in hand.
Yeah, it's our league, dude.
I don't know what kind of records are going to get broken this season, but there's going to be more. You can see it happening. You can just see it's a record-breaking season, and on several fronts, and like. The longer it goes on, the more talk about the treble. I mean, imagine finishing a treble season undefeated. That's going to be in your first season as manager, having a treble undefeated. Incredible, man. Just fantastic. And the other good thing about what's going on at the moment is all the podcasts going on now. I don't have any. Everybody seems to be bringing in special guests. Not us. It's just us, three idiots talking shite about Celtic, but there's been some excellent podcasts. We don't need
special guests, man. We rock and roll right here, man.
You're my special guests. You're my special guest, boys. But
what did you think about? Did you see the thing after the match when we talked about Police Scotland and the with the horse charge and everything? Did you see that?
Yeah, you were telling me. I saw you mention it. So what happened? Tell me what's going on.
Tell us more.
They what happened is that I saw the pictures on Twitter too and everything. They had pictures of fans that they wanted to arrest, and the one shot you see over the one cop's shoulders, he's got this big kind of like spreadsheet with all people's faces on it and stuff, and they were like kind of like they had this pre-planned assault for after the match for like just plucking people out that were at the match that they consider, I guess, unsavory types and everything. And long story short, after the match, they had cops on 4 horses charging the crowd of Celtic fans and just trying to grab people and stuff. And from what I understand, there were a lot of kids in there and everything, and one girl was crying and all that. It's a real fucking crazy kind of like...
Whoa, wait a minute. So when did this happen? Was this after the St Johnstone game?
Yeah, you didn't see that.
No, because I watch the games in the mornings, right? Mornings in my house are like, it's like warfare in my house, right, with my kids and all that. So I throw everybody out the door, piss off. I'm doing a podcast, and then I just, I watch the game and I come and talk to you guys. I will be looking at Twitter throughout the day, but it's early in the morning, so I haven't had a chance to see it. I can't believe that. Oh, man, that's crazy.
There was a couple of pictures on there. I'll see if I can direct you in the right direction. I had that shit beforehand. But pretty much what it was the cops basically went into a crowd of Celtic fans with 4 horses and were like fucking just basically trying to grab people.
Mm. Yeah, I saw someone saying on Twitter that it was fans that have got banning orders against them.
Something like that.
That's what Celtic have said, but I've not seen any videos of like the mounted police going in to grab them, but not the best, not what you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's bullshit because not for nothing. It's like don't they got fucking real crimes to be finding out, like to be solving and scouting. All I ever see is pictures of them with like fucking confiscating beer bottles and shit and roughing people up over what, football, over songs.
It's like that picture on Twitter with the guys with the.
From what I understand too is that the one Celtic fan that they did grab, they fucking ended up releasing him anyway because it wasn't the right fucking guy. I mean, this is what they're spending their taxpayer money on in that country?
Yeah.
Where cops act like fucking stormtroopers and shit?
Because recently there's now getting the Offensive Football Behaviour Act is going through. It's under review, or it's going through the Scottish Parliament just now. As far as I understand, there's a lot of opposition against it, and it's not going. I don't think it's going to last long. But Scottish police are notorious for being. I mean, even when I was growing up in Glasgow, like Scottish police, they don't mess about. They'll just they'll throw you in the van, and you spend at least a weekend in the cells for whatever. I've seen it happen to my mates out drinking or out clubbing in town, and somebody's up a lane, having a piss, or they dropped a bottle on the ground or whatever, and they'll just pull you straight off the straight, and that's it, you're done. So it doesn't surprise.
Here you go. I got it on the Twitter thing. Hold on, the boy on here. I don't follow him, but he's like, he had over 300 retweets on this today. But he said 30 to 40 cops, and his name is at FAC Kill the Bill. 30 to 40 cops and 3 to 4 horses bars the crowd, including Weens, to lift a young boy who they have now released because it was mistaken identity. And
well, good job, well done. You obviously spent a lot of time trying to find the right guy. Then just you'll do.
Yeah.
What does he look like?
The guy in green.
He looks like a Fenian. He's got a green and white scarf on. He'll do.
And the one picture they had before, and I retweeted it before, I'll probably send it out again, but it said, the one dude, he's got one of those yellow high-vis kind of vests on and shit, and the hat, and the earpiece in, and he's looking at a picture, and there's like about 10 different people photoed on a piece of paper that he's going over, and he's like, someone got a picture of him, and it says, evidence to suggest it was a premeditated attack on targeted fans. So, well done, police scouts. This is how you spend your fucking money. You're acting like a bunch of Nazi stormtroopers roughing up people for what? I mean, if I was a Scottish taxpayer, I'd be really fucking pissed that this is how they're spending my money. To do what? To beat people up and run them over with fucking horses, run kids over with horses and shit. Keep taking pictures with bottles of liquor and stuff, and see if the people even become any more friendly towards the cops.
Who is it that took the picture of the cops? If you remember that one where they hauled all the booze and took a picture of it, it was like they just had a big cocaine bust. It was like it's like
like they got fucking what's the name on that?
It was like something out of like
Narcos.
Yeah. It's like look, we've done it, man. Biggest haul in Scottish history of alco pops.
Yeah.
I remember that one. That was the Angus police.
Yeah, that was Angus police. Yeah, and they were like, yes, man, posing beside bottles of like LD and Thunderbird and stuff, and like cans of like Carlsberg Special, as if it was like 5 tons of cocaine.
Dude, typical fucking cops with such a sense of fucking arrogant entitlement and everything. Like, it's illegal, and if you come up here again with it, we'll take it again. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. Get a fucking real job. could bust some real crime. People are getting beat up left and right. People are getting robbed. People getting their cars broken into, and you snagged a bottle of Buckfast. That's fucking brilliant, dude. You earned your pay. Like,
yeah,
get the fuck out.
Yeah, nah, it's but you know, it's just cops and horses. I mean, if you want to find somebody, you know, you don't need to do that. It's just over the top, but heavy-handed. That's what we're used to.
Over the top. We've heard that. A girl today with a fucking horse.
We've heard it on the homeboys before. Man. You know, you've heard the stories of the away games, how we're treated. It's just going to go on until they get rid of this act. And the club, if this has happened, the club needs to stand up for those fans. They do. They need to speak out about it, which I'm sure they will. If it's as bad as it sounds, I would hope that they'll come out and say, you know, if there's guys there that you want to identify, then work with the club. You know, work with the guys on the ground. You don't need guys on mounted horses. You know, that's not the way to do it. Again, I haven't seen it, but it sounds ridiculous. I was going to ask you guys about Lee Griffiths, because during the week, my favourite pundit, I don't know, you guys might have your favourite pundits, but my favourite football pundit, Kris Boyd, the expert who said that Ian Cathro was going to be terrible at Hearts, which I'd like to hear what he's got to say after 4-1 pumping at the Sevco, came out and said Lee Griffiths is finished at Celtic Park now because Brendan Rodgers said that he needs to work harder, apparently.
It's bullshit. Griffiths is hurt, man.
What do you reckon?
He was on Celtic TV. He was on Celtic TV last week talking about being injured and everything. He was on there with Summer Harrell at halftime.
I mean,
I wish Kris Boyd knew what the fuck he was talking about. For a guy who was an MLS reject, he's a fucking asshole. He thought that he had that made sense would be the first, because the fucking dude is useless. He's useless as a footballer, useless as a commentator, useless as a fucking journalist wannabe, somebody trying to fucking work his way and angle his way into a career.
JP, do you reckon Yahmpy hates Kris Boyd as much as he hates the Huns?
He's a fucking asshole. He's a fucking asshole. What did he ever score? One goal against Celtic?
Get for Boydie. Yahmpy, have you heard Kris Boyd's advert that he did when he was in the States for mattresses?
No, I did. I try not to notice Kris Boyd too much, but he always seems to pop up.
Yeah. When he was playing for Portland, playing for Portland, did like a 1-minute radio advert for some kind of bed shop or something like that. Couldn't say mattresses. Talked about how he loves protein shakes and all this. Just an absolute ball bag. If you're talking about a player that was unlikely to make it in the media, you would have said, yeah, well, fucking Kris Boyd is a moron. But there he is. Got his column and got his TV appearances.
But that's what it takes now in the Scottish media to get a column. You don't need any like journalistic training.
Journalistic credibility.
I was going to say journalistic
actually went
training.
to school for journalism.
No, you don't need to have any. You just don't need to have an education, basically, at all. You just need to have played football, which he has, you know, and then all you do is get him on an advert for the for a Canadian mattress firm. That's brilliant, you know, like, and that's it. They've looked at his CV. Said, right, you've played football and you've done an advert for mattresses. Would you like to write a newspaper column? Yes, I would. Thanks very much. What would you like to talk about? I'd like to talk about Ian Cathro. So tell us, what do you think about Ian Cathro? He's pish and he's good with computers. Thanks, Chris. We'll put that in the next story. And then, you know, there's Sevco getting pumped 4-1 by Hearts, who, all intents and purposes, will, I believe, turn the corner under Ian Cathro, because I think Ian Cathro's a good coach and he's going to take some time. I mean, Robbie Nelson left Hearts and it pretty much left him in the lurch. So no matter who took over, there's always going to be a downturn. But, you know, I think Hearts are a well-run club, as much as I don't really like the support and I don't really like the club. I think that they're well run by the that lady. What's her name? I can't remember her name. Anyway.
And Bud.
That's it. Yeah. So, I just thought it was when Kris Boyd wrote that story about Lee Griffiths. It's just like, here we go again. You know, it's just like, right, who can we get to noise up Celtic? Let's get Kris this week. You know, and then it's like, Lee Griffiths tweeted out after the game, another great win to keep the run going. Liam Henderson deserved his goal, as did Scott Sinclair and Moussa Dembele. You know, applause. So, like, whatever's going on behind the scenes, you know, Brendan Rodgers can come out and say, look, he's got to work harder. that doesn't mean he's leaving. It doesn't mean that his position's in danger. It's just a manager talking about, why his player isn't in the team and why he's getting injured, and that's what happened. He has been. I mean, last season he scored 40 goals. This season, all he's been doing is getting injured, really. And when he has come in, he's played reasonably well. He's had a couple of really good games. So, yeah,
But it happens. Guys get injured, man. It's a part of the fucking profession, and guys are going to get hurt. And not to mention, he's only got a guy who's valued at almost 40 million pounds playing in front of him. I mean, he's not going to be in the lineup every fucking match. It's just the way it is, man.
No, he's not.
And yeah, I'm sure he's okay with that. You haven't heard him going to the media pissing and moaning or anything about it. He's been a great teammate. And fair play to Lee. I mean, he sees it for what it is, and he's going to keep showing up to work and doing his deal and trying to get healthy again. I think when you see guys like Kris Boyd, they try to be like this counter lever to Sutton and everything, and it's like, okay, the difference between Sutton and Kris Boyd is Sutton knows what the fuck he's talking about and generally supports his points with fact. Kris Boyd just throws shit at the wall.
Chris Sutton's intelligent and he knows the game, and like he doesn't take any shit. Like he just won't let anybody abuse him on a topic or get the better of him. A, because he's smart enough, and B, because he's got a set of balls. And I heard the podcast that he did. I won't mention the podcast because they don't mention me, but there is a podcast that's out recently with Chris Sutton, and it was excellent, really, really good. And he makes some excellent points. But the guy's got balls, and he knows the game, and he's reasonably intelligent. Those are three areas that I would think are kind of required to be a pundit, but apparently not for some of the Sevco guys. It's not really. Not really required. JP,
I'm with you both to it. I've got to go and take care of some screaming Wayne. So good talking to you both.
Yeah, well done, mate.
I'm glad to be getting dinner ready in a minute, or else my wife will end up probably cutting my throat in the middle of the night or something because I haven't even fucking started dinner. But the beers have been good, man. So there's that.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad I managed to outlast you two, because it's usually me going, right, we need to end it because somebody's been injured in my garden, or the dogs are trying to attack somewhere or something like that. So I'm glad I'm sitting here drinking cider. I'm doing a Harper. I've got ice in the glass this week. So yeah, I was.
Check your email, by the way, dude, on Twitter. Check your Tweemail message thing. I sent you something.
All right, I'll look out for it.
Hopefully it went through.
Okay.
Hopefully it went through. Because me and technology don't necessarily fucking agree, but I got the laptop working.
All right,
so
JP, cheers. Thanks for joining us, mate. We'll catch you again. All the best.
Cheers, lads. Talk to you later.
Yeah, be good, man. Have a good one, bro.
All right.
Cheers, bro.
Okay, well, we'll start winding down. I was going to talk about the Champions League. I was going to ask you guys, because obviously we're not going to make any signings till the summer, and I was going to start asking you guys, do you think we've got enough in the bank? We haven't seen Eboué Kouasé play yet. I was wondering when we're going to see that boy come on, but obviously he's not ready. I don't know, how long does it take a guy to get ready after being signed? I mean, given that he's maybe fit.
Dembele didn't come in and light the world on fire in the first day, so we gotta give him a chance, man. I'm not doubting. Hey, look, Brendan can look at a bag of dog shit, and if he sits there and says, "I think that's got potential," I'm rooting for the bag of dog shit. So I'm trusting the dude, man.
Totally. I mean, listen, yeah, I agree. It's not. I mean, we do trust him implicitly. It's not. I mean, you see the way the guy's getting interviewed and the way he talks. It's just like he's got charisma pouring out of him. Like you wouldn't, he'd be the kind of guy at a party and everybody would be standing around him listening to him talk. He's just one of those guys. He's just got that presence about him. You can see, like, Nader Chifchi was on the bench today, and I was like, really, so
you see, when we're winning by 5 goals and we need a good laugh, let's put Chifchi out there.
Well, that's the thing, though. He's got that type of personality. Well, people fucking believe in him, man. People believe in him. So maybe because during the transfer window, I thought Chifchi was going to go to the rumours were he was going to go maybe to Motherwell or to some Dutch club. I think it was NSA Breda or something. He was going to go somewhere.
Where could Chifchi go, man? I mean, like trying to get like Bo Richter, like Oh my God!
Like Effie.
Look at that guy.
Effie's still here, isn't he? I saw the tweet about Effie with his hands out. Someone tweeted Effie with his hands out, same as the Musa Dembele tweet, the Wolf of Wall Street tweet. Somebody did one with Effie as well, because he's still here as well. He's like, what else? I'm still here. Can't get rid of me, man. He's doing a Bobo ball day. Effie is doing a Bobo. He's just like, nah, I'm staying, man. I'm not going
every
anywhere.
time I go away, they bring me back.
That's it, man. Godfather Part 3, man. Hey, Effie, just like
they bring me back. It's awful.
Well, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I'd be interested to see Chief J come on and play. I wonder what Brendan is good. I don't like he can't work the magic with everybody. Like, he's not going to be able to do it with everybody.
If he gets a hat trick at any time out of Chief J, I'm just tweeting the Pope that it's time for sainthood for Rodgers, man. Because that shit'll never happen, dude. How fucking off the chain would that be if Chief J came into a match in 20 minutes and got a hattie, dude? People would be fucking just like going ape shit crazy, man.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Oh my God, it'd be like Jesus landing on your front lawn. You'd be like, am I really seeing this?
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Probably, I think GMS and Chief J will probably be on it, but we'll see what happens, man.
I'm not seeing it happen, but it sure would be fun, man.
All right, well, listen. We'll let you get on with your day, mate. Thank you for joining me. I hope to be joined. We'll see if we can. I've got a couple of ideas for the podcast coming up. I'm trying to get in touch with a couple of people to bring on the podcast, but yeah. Take care of yourself, big chap. Great to speak to you again.
You too, brother. Good talking to you and JP again. Hell, man. The beat goes on and fuck the police.
That's right, man. Fuck the SMSM, man. Chuck it all up. Hail, mate.
Hail.
Alright, man. See you, mate. See you.
The original rhyme, little hospital to mine. I spit on the mic, but little those believe in the hype. My reading is like whatever you believe in is like. I'm reading it right. Whatever catch you singing it like. It's like, could it be hot or could it be cold or could it control? I'm reading it critical too. The party goers exclusively, and you agree I'm much better than I used to be. Because J5MC we here to ride. Bombs like thoughts can never be stopped. You heard the four of us, even though it's six. Guaranteed to succeed while we're bringing you this. I give J5 the best again. South Central MC in the place to be. Come on, say ho if you know that my flow gets you out on the floor and make you sweat the show. You see him coming with the healing plan, leaving my enemy spinning like a ceiling fan. And while the rest assume I let my blessings bloom in the session, I take it back like a dressing room. And it's a cinch what they're gonna do. Turn her until you're convinced I'm as healthy as a French quarter funeral. So that we're beautiful, musical pharmaceuticals. Ladies and gents, this event's undisputable.
Aim the fuse, ladies grab your wings. Fellas, grab your girl and touch up your curl. Cause these MCs minus 5 degrees. Time to see, y'all can get his vibes with. Yeah, turn the bass into beat earthquakes. Your body, your mind shake. My DJ got 9 grades, he's playing the hybrid. The party's a dime stage, and whip up a rhyme stage, no matter what time.
From the music that saves far